And time now for my next guest. As part of Westlife, he sold over 50 million records worldwide, had an incredible 14 #1 singles. That's how big they were. But since the band went their separate ways, he's been busy winning I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here and recording his brand new album. It's Kian Egan.
Hey, how's it going, Aaron?
All right,
How are you, mate? Good to see you.
Hi, guys. How are you? Something like that.
I know.
Amazing.
They sold a few anyway, put it that way.
Loads. Everyone has it, basically. That's it.
Yeah. Now, listen, last time we spoke, you weren't sure if you wanted to do the whole solo thing, and look at you now.
Well, yeah, it's been a mad few months, really. You know, I think coming out of the jungle and that whole experience alone has been absolutely mental. But then I suppose the things that have come off the back of that, you know, and the album being one of them things, being offered a record deal and, you know, kind of going through the whole process, oh my God, is that something I want to do or is it something I don't want to do? But, you know, when I actually sat down and really thought about it, it's crazy to turn up an opportunity like that and not do it, you know what I mean? So I just thought, just go for it, see what happens, you know?
Were you nervous doing it on your own?
At first I was. I think the first few days going into the recording studio and just kind of like getting in there and being by yourself.
You're constantly looking over your shoulder for somebody else.
But it's not just that, but just listening back to it. You know, I was so used to hearing the Westlife sound and hearing what Westlife, you know, the way the albums were made and the way the music was sounding and the way we did it as a band. And obviously doing it by yourself, you do it very differently, you know. So I had a very, very different kind of thing in my head of what I wanted it to sound like. So, you know, I think just the nerves of all of that and how it was going to be received. I think the whole kind of pressure of like, you know, what are people going to say? Yeah. I think that's the big thing that you kind of go through at first. But then as time goes on, you kind of start going, you know what, forget about all of that. I'm here, I'm doing it. I'm very lucky to be doing it. And I kind of just threw it out the window after a while.
What did the boys say? Any response?
Yeah, everybody's been really, really, you know, really positive. I think, you know, the boys have been texting me and, you know, being very supportive on Twitter, you know, openly supportive as well and things like that. So, very supportive. I think, you know, it's fair to say that for each of us, we've all kind of come away from Westlife. We're all doing our own little thing, but we're still very good mates, you know what I mean? And we're still very kind of like supportive towards each other. We all want each other to be successful and to have, you know, a successful life after Westlife.
And of course, you do a duet on the album as well. Quite a special one.
Yeah, I got my wife roped into it as well, which is hilarious. You know, family affair at this stage. Yeah, it was quite funny. We were in studio and we were going through the track listing for the album, and the record label were like, you know, let's do a duet. And I was like, okay, yeah, who are you thinking? And he's like, I don't know. What? We started talking about songs, and the song came up. We did a Lady Antebellum song, a big country act, and the band were in playing the music, you know. And one of the musicians comes down to me and goes, "So you're going to do this with your lovely wife?" And I was like, no, well, you know, didn't think about that. And the record label guy just jumped out of his chair and went, that's exactly who we should do.
Funny that.
But then I kind of ignored it for a while. I was like, no, we'll let that go away, you know. Well, it was one thing enough, like, you know, doing, I suppose with me and Jodie, like, there was this whole moment in I'm a Celebrity that became a big talking point. And then, you know, we did a few photo shoots together, and then you were kind of like, singing together, is that a bit cheesy? You know, so it was that whole kind of thing in my brain where I was kind of like just trying to let it go away, but then they really pursued it. And then I asked her and she was delighted, and I'm delighted we've done it because it sounds great. You know, we've performed it on a few TVs and things like that, and it just feels natural.
We talked about Westlife.
Saturday morning, you know?
Yeah, of course. We talked about Westlife. Phenomenal success. Yeah. Simon Cowell wasn't a fan to start with. What did he say? He said, they've got great voices, but they're the worst looking band I've ever seen in my life.
He said we were the ugliest boy band ever. And I interviewed him a few weeks ago, actually, for This Morning. And I pulled him up on it. I was like, so come on, you said it. And he was like, you know, he got a little bit embarrassed. And he was like, kiddo, I wasn't talking about you. And I was like, of course you weren't, you know, because I'm sat in front of you.
Does that make it better? So yeah, I suppose it does, doesn't it?
But the actual history of it is it's fair. It's actually a fair enough comment, because the band that he signed originally is not the band that he first saw.
No.
So the band that he was talking about was a little bit uglier than it was towards the end.
Where am I watching?
But but between him and Louis, they were like, we don't like him, we don't like him, we don't like him. So they changed the lineup.
They got Shane Filan to change his hair.
Yeah, they made him die. Well, that's not necessarily what happened. This is a funny story. So when Simon came to see Westlife the very first time, we weren't Westlife. He went, I don't like them, you know, he's a good singer and I like him and blah, blah, blah. And that was it. So he liked 2 out of 6. And then, so Louis decided to change the lineup as the years went on, as the year went on, shall we say. So one by one, he got rid of them. But then he really didn't want to get rid of Shane. And why would he? Shane's an amazing singer, you know. And so he dyed Shane's hair blonde, and then Simon Cowell came back, and there was 2 new members, which were Brian and Nikki. Simon Cowell came back to see us again, and Simon went, "Ooh, I like the new guy," but he was talking about Shane, who had blonde hair, you know.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, so it's quite funny. Quite a
So
good story.
Simon doesn't really know anything. You know? He's just bluffing it like the rest of us.
Do you know what? I didn't realise how Louis is quite strict, isn't he? In terms of, he comes across very, very happy. But he's quite.
Listen,
yeah.
the first 5 or 6 years of Westlife, we were afraid of our lives of Louis. Like, if Louis comes into the dressing room, it's like, "Yes, sir. Yes, teacher."
Amazing.
You know, it was a real teachery kind of attitude. And then, like, if somebody got stepped out of line, he would pick up the phone and he would go for you. He'd be like, "What have you done? Oh my God, you're ruining this."
It's a brilliant story, and it gets better as well on paper anyway, because you're joining Boyzone. Now, I can imagine that people will be falling over with excitement, but actually you're just joining them on tour.
Yeah, no, they're doing a thing called the Forest Tour, and I'm the kind of like the main support on it. So it's my first time to kind of go out live, properly live, with a full live band and all of that. So I'm quite nervous about it, but quite excited about it as well. I do like a 45-minute set before they come on.
Okay.
So
Fantastic.
Should be fun.
Well, I'm really pleased the album's working
Thank
with
you very much, Alan.
and you threatened a duet with me one day, but that will never happen, I'll tell you that.
Well, you know, You Raise Me Up might come back around to get you to do You Raise Me Up.
I like the classical style in your voice then, Tickner Mickey. That was great. Thank you very much.
All right, you want to hear me when I really try it?
Well, we're going to hear you now. You're going to perform for us. Go and get yourself
suppose.
ready. Yeah, come on.
Thank you very much, guys.
And actually, this gives us a